In every heartbeat, there's a moment of quiet. A pause between beats that holds the secret to calm in the chaos that surrounds us. This silence isn't just a physiological necessity, it's a metaphor for life. A Stoic reminder that between every challenge, there's a moment to breathe, reflect, and choose our response wisely. Today we're diving deep into the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches the art of turning obstacles into opportunities. This isn't just about ancient texts and philosophical ideals, it's about real life, your life, and how you can harness centuries-old wisdom to navigate the modern world with grace and resilience. Join me as we explore how to transform our lives by changing nothing but ourselves, applying Stoic principles to overcome common yet destructive habits that steal our peace and potential. Whether you're struggling with overthinking, battling self-doubt, or caught in the web of procrastination, there's a Stoic solution that can lead you to a place of strength and serenity. Get ready to unlock the power of your own mind and embark on a transformative journey that begins within. Let's find out how to live better, not by doing more, but by resisting less, by understanding more, and by embracing the wisdom of Stoicism to make every moment count. If you appreciate the insights and stories we're sharing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Also, stick with us throughout, don't skip any part of the video, to ensure you capture every piece of wisdom that could change the way you see and interact with your world. Let's get started. Overthinking. It's like getting caught in a mental storm, isn't it? Your mind races from one thought to another, creating a whirlwind of unnecessary worry and speculation. You've probably noticed how it pulls you out of the present and drowns you in a sea of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. It's not just tiring, it's downright disruptive. But here's where Stoicism swings open the door to a more tranquil mind. It teaches us a valuable lesson about focusing our energy only on what we can control. Think about it. Most of what we overthink about are things beyond our reach, the future, the past, and all the unpredictable parts of life. Epictetus once pointed out, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This simple yet profound observation suggests that the fears we fabricate in our minds are often much worse than the actual outcomes. So how do we apply this to stop overthinking? Start by recognizing when you're making mountains out of molehills. When you catch yourself spiraling, pause and ask, is this something I can control? Can I change the outcome by worrying about it? More often than not, the answer is no. And that's your cue to let go and redirect your thoughts to what you can influence, your actions, here and now. Another Stoic strategy is the practice of mindfulness, staying fully present in the moment. This can be as simple as focusing on your breathing, the details of your surroundings, or the task at hand. By anchoring yourself in the present, you starve the overthinking beast of its power, because you're no longer feeding it with past regrets or future anxieties. Remember, it's about training your mind to embrace the calm in the pause, the silence between the heartbeats. Overthinking doesn't have to be the soundtrack of your life. Let Stoicism guide you towards a more peaceful mental state, where you control your thoughts, not the other way around. Through practice and patience, you'll find that you can quiet the noise and enjoy the clarity and peace that comes from a Stoic mindset. Trying to please everyone is like being a chameleon, constantly changing colors to match the environment. It sounds adaptable and considerate, but it's actually a trap. When you constantly shift your actions and reactions to fit others' expectations, you might find yourself losing touch with who you really are. You see, the habit of people-pleasing often stems from a fear of rejection or conflict. But it doesn't really lead to genuine relationships or personal satisfaction. In fact, it can do the opposite, breeding resentment and exhaustion. This is where Stoicism offers a grounding perspective. The Stoics advocate for living a life of personal integrity and virtue, which is the opposite of bending yourself to fit the whims of others. Marcus Aurelius once advised, It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. If you think about that, it's quite profound. We put others' opinions above our own inner guidance, sacrificing our own happiness in the process. So how do you step out of the people-pleasing cycle? Begin by understanding and defining your core values. What truly matters to you? What principles do you want to live by? When you're clear about these, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with your true self, not just decisions that appease others. Start practicing saying no. It sounds simple, but it can be incredibly challenging if you're a habitual people pleaser. Remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't feel right, you're actually saying no to your own values. By respecting your own limits, you not only preserve your energy, but also build self-respect. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, our actions and reactions, and to detach from the things we can't control, like others' feelings and reactions. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. Rather, it's about approaching interactions with kindness and honesty, without the hidden agenda of seeking approval. Embrace the freedom that comes from being authentic. When you stop trying to please everyone, you might find that not everyone likes you, and that's perfectly okay. Those who appreciate the real you are the relationships worth nurturing. And remember, as a Stoic, your worth comes from your ability to live true to your virtues, not from the fleeting approval of others. This shift in perspective can liberate you from the heavy chains of people-pleasing and lead you towards a life of genuine contentment and stronger, more meaningful connections and pause. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? How would I talk to a friend who had this thought? Often, you'll find that you're much harsher with yourself than you would ever be with others. Once you've identified negative self-talk, challenge it. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or thoughts, but rather about confronting and rationalizing them. If you're thinking, I always mess up, reflect on times you've succeeded or handled situations. Well, this isn't just about positive thinking, but about accurate thinking. Aligning your thoughts more closely with reality. Another Stoic strategy is the practice of reframing your thoughts to focus on what you can control. Instead of saying, I'm terrible at this, you might reframe it to, I'm still learning how to do this. This shift in perspective emphasizes growth and potential rather than fixed inadequacy. Additionally, Stoicism encourages us to focus on action over rumination. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about the importance of action. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. By focusing on what actions you can take, rather than dwelling on negative thoughts, you turn obstacles into opportunities for improvement. Cultivate self-compassion. Remember that being human involves imperfections and making mistakes. Allow yourself the kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Self-compassion is not only a relief, it's a resource. It can fuel resilience and a more positive approach to life's challenges. Through these Stoic practices, we can start to silence the critic within and replace it with a more supportive, rational, and compassionate inner voice. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and practice, you can transform your inner dialogue and, by extension, your experience of the world. Let's take these lessons from Stoicism and apply them every day, turning our inner narrative from one of self-doubt and criticism to one of encouragement and strength. Procrastination, the art of putting off until tomorrow. What you can do today, right? It's a common habit that all of us fall into at one point or another. It's so easy to tell ourselves, I'll start on this later, or I'm not quite ready yet. But deep down, we know that delaying tasks doesn't make them any easier. In fact, it often makes them harder. The stress builds, the workload piles up, and the guilt of not starting just adds to the anxiety. Stoicism, however, provides a refreshing perspective on how to tackle procrastination head-on. The Stoics were big on using rationality to master emotions and actions. They taught that our actions should reflect our rational decisions, not our fleeting feelings or moods. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do every act of your life as if it were the last act of your life." This mindset places an emphasis on the importance of the present moment, urging us to act now rather than later. So how can you break the cycle of procrastination with the help of Stoicism? First, understand why you procrastinate. Is it fear of failure? Is it perfectionism? Or maybe it's because the task feels too big and overwhelming. Identifying the root cause is the first step in overcoming it. Once you know why you're procrastinating, you can address that specific issue more effectively. Next, use a Stoic method called the dichotomy of control, which is all about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. In the case of procrastination, focus on your ability to start the task rather than the potential outcomes. Break down the task into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of thinking, "I need to complete this project," think, "I need to work on this for 30 minutes. By making it LE,